and it's easier to implement that type of change too. Okay, so let's go over everything. So this is Euro USD. This is the head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders D2 idea. So you can see the divergence at the bottom from yesterday's RSI low here into today's price action low. You see that it sets our initial bottom. We then got a higher low here at about 4:45 in the morning as the TDI started to pull itself into the buy zone. It looks to be setting a higher low off this zone here now, which could lead to another move higher in the afternoon. The other thing that we need to be aware of is the 200 EMA is coming closer to the 50 and the 800 EMA. The white line is coming closer to the dark blue and the light blue line, and that can normally lead to some consolidation and lead to some reset. So with that coming in to reset, with the liquid 50 swapping, I'm not sold on this coming higher right away. It might be very choppy. It might not come higher until overnight or maybe even tomorrow. So it's going to be a tough trade to take. I have this marked up just as a D2 idea. And from the break of the 50 that I have marked here, because that's our second 50 EMA break with the structure point, you know where the stop should go. And just notice here, it doesn't break the 200. See how it makes a lower high off the 200? That tells me that there's still some some bearish sentiment in control. And that's confirmed with where's the liquid 50 most of the day? In the sell zone. Let's translate that idea over to NZD USD. Again, first thing we should look at is where's the TDI? Most of the day, from 3:15 all the way to the beginning of the Asian session, it's in the sell zone. So it's short biased according to that. However, it pulls up into the buy zone and presents this 2-candle A1 entry. The 2-candle moves for about 30 minutes, only about 9 pips before coming down and either stopping you out in profit, stopping you out at your original stop loss position. Notice it has a very strong issue with yesterday's high. This zone here, whether you want to use 73.15 or 73.11, whatever you want to use, it's clearly showing a lot of resistance to yesterday's high. So I think with the swapping liquid 50, it's avoidable. And with the fact that you can't get more than 2R to yesterday's high, see it's only 1.5R to yesterday's high, that's another thing that I don't love. I'd like to get at least 2R to the next significant level in my way. And the last point that you should make if you're journaling this, NZD pairs never tested well with the ASFX systems, which is why they're not on my watch list over here. I had to go pull this up because James and Dennis and everybody was talking about it. But I think this is an avoidable trade. It is breaking the Asia high for the second time, which is great. I like that it's coming through the horizontal level. But again, if you can't get 2R to yesterday's high, you know it could slow down there. It actually slowed down before there. It slowed down here where it had an issue yesterday. So just be aware of horizontal levels. If they're in your way, don't ignore them. And when this slows down for 45 minutes, I think that's another sign that you could say, maybe this isn't ready to move yet. This might not be working out for me. So that's what I was looking at here on on NZD USD. An inverse idea, if NZD USD goes up, Euro USD would also go up because they both have that USD correlation. Now, Euro NZD, again, let's look back. You've got bullish divergence yesterday from the RSI low into yesterday's price action low. It then confirms that as support when it bounces here at the end of the day, saying that this pin is our zone. Then today, it forms more bullish divergence, as you can see, like this. More bullish divergence here. And it presents this 2-candle formation that Jerome traded. To me, because this is a setup with 2 sets of bullish divergence, that would be something that makes me hesitant to take the trade. However, it does fall 1.3R before pulling back up towards your stop. You definitely could have made money on this, just not a lot of money. And just notice how well it respects the divergence line. It kept trying to move off of it, but it couldn't. So when it's not moving, same thing on NZD USD, you should be thinking maybe there's a reason this breakout is not moving. It might not be ready to go yet. So let me take my profit and just move on and see if I can find a move later in the day. I don't love it here too. See how it breaks the Asian range just with a very small body and then pulls back in? I'd like to see a solid break. You know what I'm saying? But again, I think this is also a setup. If you had to put it next to NZD USD, it's more probable just because the L50 is in the sell zone all day today. Even with the divergence, this one to me is more probable than NZD USD. I don't love either of them though, and that's why I didn't trade either of them. You might get a D1 off the 50 here on NZD USD as the day goes on. You don't have any bullish divergence though, I don't think. It's tough. That is rising in there, so maybe you do. See if it wants to hold 72.88, and maybe it wants to make another jab towards that high. But now, if you look at the 15-minute, it's actually shifted down. 8 is under the 21. So that's another knock against it. So now you're going long on a swapping liquid 50 in a downshift. After it already showed resistance, only 10 pips away. It's not worth it to me. It's just a tough pair to trade. And the last thing we got to talk about, this on GBP NZD. So still correlated with the NZD, but this was not a proper formation. The RSI was not in proper A1 formation until the 2 or 3 candles after the entry formation. When they come down, it pulls it lower. But what ends up happening here is there's yellow impact GBP news that ends up being high impact because the speech was not as expected. And that high impact news shot this up, took this higher, took GU higher. It shot all the GBP pairs up. So if you were looking at EN, NU, and GN for entries, GN could instantly come off the list because you had 7 a.m. GBP news coming in. You didn't have any NZD news, and you didn't have any Euro news. So that would then turn your focus to Euro NZD at 6:15 or NZD USD at 6:15. Both of them are happening at the same time, and you'd expect them to move together. But for me, both of them are not high probability setups here because of the swapping liquid 50 and because it's a shitty pair on NZD, USD, and here on Euro NZD, I think the 2 sets of bullish divergence plus all the consolidation at this price zone tell you that it's going to have an issue just tanking. And Euro NZD has also been a pair that we've spoken about recently, just as a pair that's been chopping over the last couple of weeks. So we need to see it break out and find a trend before we think it's going to continue to move well for us while we look for entries. So in the afternoon here, I'm going to watch Euro USD to see if it wants to hold this higher low off the divergence, to see if this wants to continue higher. We've got stocks opening in about 20 minutes. We'll see how they shake out. But for me, today on the Forex side of things, it's just very quiet. Nothing screaming at me for an entry, nothing presenting clean trend that I like to trade. So I'd rather keep my money in my pocket and come back tomorrow locked and loaded to see if I can find something. All I need is one great trade a week. If I don't find one this week, we've had winning trades the last 3 weeks consistently. Remember the first week of May, we had 3 trades, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Second week of May, we had trades Wednesday, Thursday. And then this week, I wasn't trading Monday. I didn't trade the end of last week. I don't think last week we got a trade either. That would be the 3rd week. And then now this week, haven't had a trade yet. So the wins are there so far in May. I don't want to give any of that back. And they were there because the trend was clean in the beginning of the month. We found perfect liquid 50s, perfect TDI, perfect EMAs, and that's where I want to put my money. This could easily be chopping the rest of the day. So why take the risk? Why have to be sweating it when I go to the gym and go do my other stuff? I want to go sit outside and enjoy the weather and get tan. Why do I need to be sweating if I'm trading a choppy pair? I'd like to get in, get out, and that's what we teach at ASFX. So if you want to learn more about how I trade or how I'm identifying all the structure that we spoke about today, I'm going to put a link in the chat one more time. Make sure you go check out our website. I've got a ton of other information here on my YouTube channel. Please, please, please go check that out. I've got so many free videos for you guys, so much free information that I know will make a difference in your trading. So if you're not ready to commit financially to the course, study up on my YouTube channel. But when you're ready to be in the course and you want to be in our group chat, it's always there for you.